man, well, we on episode 3.
Episode 3.
Dude, it's gone crazy.
It has. I agree. It's pretty epic. Ooh, wait a minute, I forgot something.
What'd you forget? You forgot.
My voice gets dry.
Bush.
Mm-mm. No.
No.
We went Miller. Miller time, baby.
Well, Miller time, you know what time it is?
I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is?
It is time for episode 3.
Step right up, got tickets on sale, and today's episode, trains coming off the rails.
So we got all kinds of stuff to talk about today.
It's been a busy week.
It really has.
A crazy busy week, actually, for everybody.
Man, well, we work on motorcycles. Well, technically, you worked on the motorcycle. I got a haircut.
You got a haircut.
Hey, today's shameless plug on the old Rollin Throttle podcast is Aiden Cuts here. You see, I'm getting my hair cut in the captain's corner, you know, where we film our podcast. I want a big shout out to Aiden here. Appreciate it. So you see, we're getting started, and we'll show you a little end result. We'll see how well he does.
We see under the hat.
Oh, I got
a little hat head.
I got helmet hair right now.
You got helmet hair and hat head.
I got.
Well, I tell you what, it looks slick.
It does.
I still feel like for say 5,000 likes, you shave the beard.
She's shaking her head now.
What? No. Oh, I forgot we got a studio audience today.
Yeah, we did. Studio. We're up to 1. Yay. This is awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah. So I got
So 5,000 likes and he shaves his beard. I'm going to keep pitching this thing. I think it would work. No.
And then the next episode would be the death of Jason. In memory of Jason.
A memorial episode.
A memorial episode. It was actually your son that gave me the haircut.
Courtesy of Mr. Aiden Cuts.
Aiden Cuts. So go on Facebook, hit that little follow, like, and if you're in the area or talk to him or anything,
shoot him a message. He'll hook you up.
He will. He did a wonderful job. So I do not have a problem doing my shameless plug today for Aiden's Cuts.
Greatly appreciated. I know he does too.
Because I'm coming back. Plus, it's wonderful conversation.
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a conversation.
He does.
He really is.
Wonderful conversation.
Yeah. He's really excited about all this too. You know,
So if you guys don't know, he's been in the background, helping us, giving us little insights, listening to it.
Yep. Helping us out with the younger generation.
Yep. Because, it's 2 old guys in the garage.
Maybe we should just call it 2 old guys in the garage.
2 old guys in the garage. Yeah. But, yeah, we worked on it. I'd say we, but you worked on her bike. Well, I kind of did too.
Well, you did.
Yeah.
You did. You were there.
Yeah.
You were
It took me like 30 minutes to figure out the back guards.
Well, all that new technology.
Yeah. It's as simple as back guards. But yeah, I had to Google a picture just to figure out left and right.
Yes.
And the videos are going to be coming out. We're working on the videos. Once they're done, we'll drop them out. You know.
It's going to be great. It's going to be some good stuff coming out there.
I can't wait to do the blooper reel because the blooper reels was hilarious.
I cussed a lot that day.
I went back and I'm already starting to put stuff together and I'm looking through the blooper reels. I'm like, this is hilarious.
Hey everybody, Jason here from Rollin Throttle. I just wanted to take a quick second and say thank you for all the support. We love the interaction and we love putting the show on for you guys. If you like it, if you like the content and you find it entertaining, please drop a comment in the section below. And if you got anything you want us to talk about, let us know there too. Thank you all for tuning in, and as always, have a wonderful day. Be safe out there.
Before we get into our safety topic, I actually have a mechanics topic for today.
All right, we'll start out with the mechanics topic today.
This one, which there's a little bit of inside joke that goes to this, and it'd be too hard to explain. But this one comes from my buddy Dave that I work with. Righty tighty, lefty loosey Dave. No matter how big a pipe wrench you put on it, if you go the wrong way, it doesn't work. righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's the mechanic's safety message for the day.
Well, hang on, back up. What if it's
They're not left-handed threads. They're not left-handed threads. Sometimes you just got to pick up that radio and do the phone a friend thing, get somebody to come out there and guide you. Would
you like to phone a friend? Yes.
Yes. So, that's the mechanical safety message.
Unless you pull. If you pull hard enough, they'll become left-handed threads.
This would have been a bad situation to become left-handed threads.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. Well,
we didn't want that to happen.
So there's your mechanic's corner right there. Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yes.
Don't ever forget.
So let's move right in. Let's do a little safety because I think we're right there at this time of the year. Today was a beautiful day. It's 70. It's like 71. I think when I came home. You guys have been out riding all day today.
Well, back up, not you guys. The studio audience has been out riding today.
Yeah, that's what I say. Everybody, you guys out there in the world where the weather is good, we're probably out riding today. For the rest of us, well, that was a work.
Yeah. I was too. I was looking through the window.
Yeah, looking through the window.
Yep.
So there's that's the whole thing there. So I would like to move into the safety thing because the season is upon us here in the Mountain State. The weather's starting to turn and things are starting to look really good.
Yep.
This week should actually be pretty good. We might get another cold snap, but as everybody that lives around here knows, the biggest issue that we have at this time of the year is potholes.
Yes.
Giant, wheel breaking, earth shattering, bounce you off the bike and bust your butt potholes.
No matter how good you think your suspension is.
Oh, no.
It will eat it.
I have a good friend of ours that just a couple years back hit a pretty big hole, busted his front wheel and went off, broke his arms.
Yeah.
So pay attention to road conditions right now. They're out there, and there's no little ones. It's right now they're all big. So keep your eyes in front of you and on the ground too. So just be aware.
No,
They'll sneak up on you.
Hey, today's safety tips brought to you by Left Lane. You see, I don't have any product here because I am wearing the product. You got your Left Lanes for crime, or hey, if you're a person that just likes to ride safe, don't forget to go over to the website and get your ride safest gear. Go to leftlanesyndicate.com. Support a small business. Now, your potholes the other night that you were explaining to me right before you turn into your house coming down the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hit that pothole.
I told you. I know it's there, and I still can't not hit the stupid thing.
But I got to give it to that old Suspension Technologies.
Yeah. Sucked it right up, did it?
So I barely even felt it.
That's good.
But I know it's big, and I'm like, my wheel could be bent, and I probably couldn't have felt it.
Yeah, they're nasty, but that's good, man. I'm glad that we know that that's a good set of suspension anyway. I mean, it just is.
It is. Well, like going to the potholes and stuff, knowing your road conditions, if you're riding in multiple packs, know when to go to single file. Because sometimes one lane's better than the other.
Yeah,
and you're not.
That's exactly right.
Stacked up, trying to run in each other. Just go ahead, put you in single file. Do the follow the leader thing. Keep enough distance. And you'll be good.
And the good thing is, if you're riding with other people and stuff too, is to make sure communication is always a key. That's another add-on safety. There is communication. We can we'll touch on that deeper in another episode, I think.
Coming into a future episode to you.
Yes, but no hand signals work really good to know. Work out something with the people. That way, if there's a hazard or something like that, and, everybody always likes the foot point.
I hate the foot points.
The foot point.
I hate the foot point.
Sometimes if there's potholes everywhere, like around here, it's like 2 feet.
Yeah, you should
always keep at least 1 foot on the bike at all times.
Yeah, they look like a 5-year-old on a bar stool. Whee! And there's hand signals. There's plenty of places you go out on the internet. You can Google. They have charts where you can go through all the hand signals, learn hand signals. But then also, certain groups have certain hand signals.
It's true.
And this, we can go deep into this. We're getting already deep into this. I want to save this for another episode. I would like to touch on this because there's hand signals, and then there's my hand signals.
Interpretive? Do you feel that your hand signals are more interpretive dance than hand signals?
I No, it's like you can feel that the caps lock is on sometimes.
I
when
got
got,
you. Yeah. You could. It's
I'm
like
not yelling, but you can tell I'm yelling in my helmet.
You put an extra pair on it. You
Yeah.
know? I get it. Yeah. Hey, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You know.
Yeah, there's some people that over the last few years have started. They would come in and ride with us every once in a while, and the whole running joke when we have somebody new riding with us, like, watch for his hand signals, because
somebody always has to have that job. You know,
well, because
somebody's got to be the one guy that looks out.
Because safety is a huge thing with me, especially in a group, and I will not beat around the bush. I will get off the motorcycle and I will talk to you man to man. I'll talk to you man to man about how stupid you just was and could have hurt everybody.
Yeah. And one thing too to remember is if you are riding in a group and you have inexperienced riders, we talked about spirited riders.
Yeah.
So we'll go the other direction. We'll talk about the inexperienced riders. You know, we've talked about inexperienced.
All right, hang on before you get too deep into that.
Yeah.
Where do you think an inexperienced rider should be in the pack?
Truthfully,
yes.
I think there's a couple. To me, there's a couple different schools of thoughts on this.
Because I know where traditionally most people put the inexperienced riders, but
I mean, I look at it like this. I look at it traditionally. I think most people would put inexperienced people in an experienced group. Would put them usually a lot of times would box them in the middle.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I guess that's just with the mindset of. With the mindset of being able, if there's an issue or one of them has a problem, that they've got people in front of them, behind them to help to kind of guide them. I don't know if I agree with that methodology. I prefer to take people that are with less experience. I'd rather put them towards the back, in front of the tail gunner. You know, they got one person back there that's kind of watching them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if something would happen, they don't stand the risk of taking out a bunch of other people. If something would happen, they go down, and there's still somebody back there to watch them.
Okay. That's where most groups do.
Okay.
If they'll have a thing. If you're least experienced, you're going to the back behind everybody.
Where do you like to see them?
I want them all up front surrounding me.
Really?
And put all the experienced people behind them.
Okay.
All right?
Why?
Because as a very experienced rider, I can ride off an experienced person. Okay?
Sure.
And it's easier to pace a pack with the least experienced people leading the pack.
Oh, I like that. Does make a very good point.
You don't get what they call the accordion effect.
Yeah. That's exactly where you're going with this.
And when you get the gaps,
That's
that creates another issue because
Right.
a vehicle can merge in or this or that.
You get people between you. You
Yeah.
get caught by stoplights.
Right.
It does create. You're right. I never really thought about that. It
Yeah.
does create a whole nother issue there.
And I have witnessed one too many times an inexperienced person running over the pack.
Yeah.
I put them up front with me. I pay attention to what they do. If they're not going to stop, I'm going to get out of the way, and they can just run as far as their heart's content.
Get out there.
Yep.
Yeah. You're pacing yourself to them.
Right. And
That's a
your
pretty good way.
experienced riders, you don't have to worry about them going to run you over because they're used to riding.
Right. They just keep pace.
Right.
That's a good point. I like this. That's really good. I never really thought about it from that.
Yeah, because exactly most people I've noticed around here they do it. They put the experienced people in the back.
It's true.
And we've done it. And we've done it where we put the least experienced people up there with me. We put them all in the front. It's actually been a lot more enjoyable ride.
Yeah.
And
people don't always feel like they're racing to catch up.
Right.
People that don't have experience feel like they're trying to fight and they fill that gap.
right, we are running off of them.
Yeah.
So if they're not comfortable doing that speed around that turn,
Right.
we're pacing off of them. So they're more comfortable. But in the same time, I can kind of push them, not to make them right out of the comfort zone, but kind of push them to get a little more comfortable,
Sure.
right? So I know our studio audience over there, she has been the person that's been in the front of the pack before.
Right.
And she did a lot better when she was least experienced riding in the pack, being in front of everybody.
Yeah. I tell you what, I gotta give it my hats off to her, and I've told her this a dozen times over. Very proud of her. I mean, because if you think about it, for somebody who never even thrown their leg over across a bike until 2020.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The first time I'd ever been on a bike or ever went anywhere, the first time she ever really even spent any time on a bike, she went out to Sturgis with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, and she was a rider then, but you know, to come back and then to go from that within a very short amount of time to pick up that passion and carry it where she has to becoming a cross country rider.
Okay, hold up. Don't tell everything about
No. I'm just
to let you guys. Our studio audience is going to be our special guest later on in this episode, so keep hanging out with us. I don't want
no. We don't dig too deep.
Don't dig too deep.
Don't tell the whole story.
Don't tell the whole story.
I was just leading in.
Yeah, just a little tease.
Just a little tease. I was just teasing it in there.
Hey everybody, Jason here from Rollin Throttle. I just wanted to take a quick second and say thank you for all the support. We love the interaction, and we love putting the show on for you guys. If you like it, if you like the content and you find it entertaining, please drop a comment in the section below. And if you got anything you want us to talk about, let us know there too. Thank you all for tuning in, and as always, have a wonderful day. Be safe out there.
But going back, you might think about, and you guys comment if you see different. I love talking to, but once I get groups doing that, people that lead groups, and
right,
they're like, man, yeah, it's a lot more enjoyable ride.
Sure. And it also helps too to have, even from that too, you also still need somebody up front with a considerable amount of leadership experience in leading that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yes.
It doesn't do any good to get the guy that's up front that just wants to run hauled out all the time, and then everybody's just racing to try to catch up to him. You know what I mean? It's like, where did he go? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I'm following this guy, but I can't find him.
And if you have a leader like that, that leader needs to be the tail gunner.
That's true.
Because people like that usually make great tail gunners.
Yep. Over the years, the group that I ride with, we have I'll be honest with you, we have a really good leader. He does a really good job up there. Always has.
But I mean, last few years I've been having to be the leader of the pack because we've been in areas that people don't know, so I have to lead. I like being tail gunner more. That's more my comfort zone.
That's where I'm at. That's what I like to do. I'd rather be back here.
Yeah, just with my experience, protect the pack, watch over everybody. And but if you guys don't know what tail gunner is, that is your last person in the pack. They are not in formation. They're the ones that their main job is to make sure that the pack stays together, that the leader knows what the communication is going on, and always protect the pack. And when they say always protect the pack, it's to keep the idiot drivers off of you or trying to pass you or anything else.
And if you're traveling with a support vehicle somewhere behind your job, to make sure that you don't lose them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody that's listening that knows me knows exactly what I'm talking about with this. I really didn't mean to lose the RV that year. I really didn't. It was just, I tried. Hey, look, I went back and found it, you know.
But, so, like I said, comment, tell us what your experience is. And if you try what I suggest, let me know how it goes. Like I said, most people start trying it, but it's just worked out way better.
Yeah.
And let me step on my soapbox to all my three-wheeled friends. You should not be in the pack with two wheels. There should be a two-wheel pack, and there should be a three-wheel pack.
The trike people.
Yes.
I really haven't had very many people over the years. Just one here or there, but never really rode anybody. Well, I guess we do have somebody. We do have somebody now that has a trike. Now to think about it.
And before you leave the negative comments and the down reviews and whatever, think about this. You guys need more space to work. You're 57, 58 inches wide.
It's true. You're less maneuverable.
Right. And once again, I can show you all kinds of videos of trucks that's ran over motorcycles because they were in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And it's not because they didn't know what's going on. They can't maneuver as quick as a two-wheel vehicle.
Right.
So when we do that, once again, I'll have the beginners up front with me, the more experienced riders, and if we got trikes with us, I'll throw a tail gunner between two-wheel pack and trike, and tail gunner behind trikes.
That makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I never really thought about that, but you are right. Like I said, for me, it's like over the years, only really had one or two guys over the years that, intermittently, you know what I mean? But and they usually rode the back anyway. They usually kind of hung the back anyway. So.
Or if the trikes want to be up front, I'll put them in the front pack, whatever. But I'm just saying, I like to keep the trikes separated from the two-wheel guys in the pack. That way the trikes have more room to maneuver. They're not having to worry about. If something goes wrong, they have that buffer to make.
Wait a minute. What about Goldwing trikes? Do those go in the carpool lane? I'm just saying.
That's some love out there.
That's like right.
Well,
there's a Goldwing following out there like there's no tomorrow. But that Goldwing trike literally looks like a Honda Accord with one less wheel.
Well, hang on. You better watch it, because one of our big supporters, old Big Smitty.
What in the hell did I just hear? Jason, did you just say that Goldwing trikes are like a Honda Accord? Buddy, listen, you're going to really upset the Goldwing trike people, because they prefer to have their Goldwings be called a Civic, not an Accord. Sporty yet comfortable. Yeah, you can't do that. You guys, this podcast will tank way down with these Goldwing people. I'm telling you.
I'm not knocking them.
telling you.
They're hella bikes. I'm just saying, they're huge.
I'm telling you.
I get it. Hey, do it to it, man. No hate here. They're huge.
He's a wonderful guy. He's a big gun. I can't blame him. Like, the only thing, they're quiet.
You know that really, the funny memes and reels where it says, can you imagine pulling in the garage and your family not knowing you're home, or your old lady not knowing you're home or that you left? I feel that way every time I pull out of the garage or come home. I could leave here at 2 o'clock in the morning and never wake a neighbor up.
But they're fast. They ride good. They're
Here's a secret.
What?
I grew up. My dad had bikes growing up.
Yeah.
He didn't ride a whole lot, like older and stuff. As I kind of is really weird. Like, I found out some history, like with my dad and my grandpa. And I guess my grandpa was like a way back in the day, like old school 30s, 40s Harley guy. You know what I mean? Like, rode around, only had one leg because he'd been in a motorcycle accident.
Right.
Later on in life, become a preacher, and I guess back in the day, he was pretty rowdy feller, from what I understand. So my dad had motorcycles. He rode a little bit. But later on, like probably back in the late 90s, my dad, he had this old Goldwing trike. And or I say Goldwing trike, we're talking about trikes.
Yeah.
He had a Goldwing. I'd say it was probably like a late 90s model, like 97, 98-ish. It actually might have been a little bit earlier than that. But that thing, I can remember being out in the garage, and I wanted to ride that thing so bad I couldn't stand it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
At this point in time, I didn't even own a motorcycle. I had four-wheelers. I hadn't even been on two wheels at this point. So I decided one day I was going to ride that bike. So Dad was at work. My mom and Dad don't know about this either. So,
All right.
My mom watches this. So my mom watches this. So,
Breaking news.
Breaking news, Mom. So it was like one day, like they were at work. I was at home. I said, I'm going to take that bike out. So I'm going to ride it. I said, just at least down the driveway and back. And I was, back then I was a lot smaller than what I am now. God bless. Those days. And, I mean, that bike's probably what, 850. It's not almost probably an 850, 900-pound bike then.
Did it have the cassette player?
Oh, yeah. It had the cassette player, the air adjustable suspension. It was the 6-cylinder.
All right.
Had the big, the one, had the 6-cylinder on it. I mean, it was half of a Honda Accord. And man, I remember backing that thing out. I was so careful, man. Walked that thing out there in the driveway, and our driveway was gravel at the time. The hill was pavement, but the top of the driveway was all gravel. Man, I was so careful backing it out there. Got it fired up, drove it down the driveway, back up top of the hill, up and down the road a couple of times, and came back. And I was so proud of myself. Like, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I did it. I finally did it. I scratched that itch. Well, then, like Mom and Dad's driveway, it was gravel, and then the concrete lipped up into the garage right there. It was probably about like that tall. So you had to kind of give it a little oomph to get it up in there. Well, I gave it a little too much oomph to get it up in there. So I went, I shot the moon into the garage, dropped the bike over, broke a mirror off of it. Broke the mirror off the bike. Then went frantic because I was like, holy crap, man, I've got to figure out something because Dad's going to come home and see that the mirrors broke off his bike. you know, because at that point in life, I just thought I was smarter than, I thought I was smart enough to be able to hide that.
Right.
Being at that point in my life, my dad didn't ride, so I was actually really fortunate. So I had to call one of my buddies to go take me, run me out, because I don't think I had a car then, because he had to come pick me up, take me out, get super glue. And I came back and I took that giant plastic mirror in one sliver at a time. I glued this entire mirror back together on this bike and put it all back there. Pristine. And it was the one on the far side of the garage, so you didn't see it. Never figured it out. And then years later, just to show you how long it'd been since it'd been moved, I was probably the last person to ride it. It sat out there for years. Years later, I think he went to move it, or he was selling it or something like that, and got over and moved it around, that mirror come off, and I think he thought he broke it. Yeah. Little inside story there on the Goldwing.
What's up, Dad? Breaking news.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all I remember about the old Goldwings, the cassette player.
Yeah, it had to, like, right there it was right there on the right hand fender hump right in there. Yeah, it was a bike. But those Goldwings, man, they're good bikes. I mean,
put you some Guns N' Roses in.
Oh,
Up the other road.
What was Honda's slogan? You meet the nicest people on a Honda.
Yeah.
That was their slogan for years, all the way up from the 50s, 60s, all the way through.
Yeah, that's when they started with the little scooters.
Mm-hmm.
You meet the nicest people, and then they built something that killed everybody.
That's true. That's true.
And they're getting banned. The 3-wheelers were getting banned.
Yeah, they invented. Yeah, they made trikes cool before trikes were cool.
Technically,
really
yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
I mean, we had one of those too. We had a it was a 250 Big Red, but it was a blue one. You know what I mean? And yeah, I can remember that thing. My mom rolled it all over the yard.
Yeah.
Every place you go, it was either it was on 3 wheels or it was on its side, one or the other. You know.
That's why we had the Big Red. Yeah. Big balloon tires.
Yep. No suspension.
No
Just the forks. That's
Yeah.
all you had on it.
Yeah.
Solid rears, just front forks. Yeah, I mean, it was really kind of.
So technically, they did make trikes cool before.
Yeah, they really did. Off-road trikes.
All right, Smitty, there's your next video. Your next Honda video right there.
We would like to see somebody, we'd like to reach out and see somebody to convert a Goldwing trike into an off-road Honda Big Red 3-wheeler. Somebody dig deep in their pockets for that one.
Come on.
Because that's going to be fun.
My mind's just blown. They did make trikes
I know.
cool.
Never thought about that, did you?
And I never thought about that. Oh, my gosh.
Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah. Let it sink in.
I'm just bumfuzzled right now. I talk so much crap on Honda, and they made something cool before everybody else.
Yeah. Like I said, Honda's not, like I said, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater for the Hondas.
Now I need to make a
Goldwing's not my bike, but I'm going to tell you what, God knows there's enough people out there that ride them.
Now I need to make a T-shirt. It has the Big Red on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Just, making trikes cool before they were cool.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, there you go for the for Smitty.
Yeah.
That's a good one right
That
there.
is a good one right there. But
I like it.
so I don't know. I'm just wow. I talk a lot of crap on the Honda people too. I don't know. You gotta give me a second here. I had all this stuff in my head to talk about, and you just like.
You know what? Take a minute.
All right, I'm gonna take a minute.
Take a minute.
All right.
Today, we like to shout out Recluse clutches, and they are the best that you can put in, on our opinion. We've been running for a long time. I have them in Blue Spade, the big horsepower motor. I have them in Crystal's big horsepower Lowrider S. They've done well. They've handled everything. And Jason, you talked to Recluse.
Yeah, I talked to my man Charles over there. Totally hooked us up. Everything that you need. Told him exactly what I was putting it in. You know, what my application was. Got the best recommendation for it. This clutch pack is probably one of the, to me, in opinion wise, is probably one of the best ones you're going to find out on the market. It offers 50% higher engagement with 0 extra clutch lever effort.
Right.
And it also runs 6 extra discs and steels above what your stock clutch is.
Yep.
So from a performance aspect, this is going to get the job done. Doesn't matter how much power you get if you can't put it to the ground.
Exactly.
It's useless.
Yep. And it's made in the USA. We like to thank Recluse for sending this out to him. He ordered it.
Yep.
We're going to have more videos coming. We're going to install it and show you exactly how these things go into the motorcycle and what application, Jason, you're going to use it for.
That's exactly right.
So go over to Recluse, check them out, tell them we sent you. And once again, thank you, Recluse. We love your product.
Stay tuned for more. Ow! God!
Safety corner again.
We're gonna lock that. We're locking that chair in this time. Ow! Right on the chin, dude. That's great. Okay.
Let's restart safety corner.
So in this, we're going to delve into the real reasons, the in-depth reasons of why somebody who's never ridden before, or somebody who rides currently, whatever stage they are in their riding career, what really drove them to go into this sport, to pick this passion up, like what really digs into it. So as our first guest, welcome to the big chair.
It's kind of like the hot seat.
It is kind of like the hot seat. It's adjustable. We can lower you up and down. For short guests, we can lower you up and down. So here's where I'm at with this. So tell me the reason. So let's talk about what you ride. Let's talk about that.
Well, I
sorry.
just bought my new bike. So I just got a 2023 Road Glide ST. I went on my first ride today, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. How'd that go? I mean, as far as the bike and handling and stuff like that.
It went.
Hold on a minute.
That's
Stop you.
Yeah.
Where did you come from? What did you have before this?
I started on. Well, when we went to go pick out bikes, I went and hopped on a whole bunch of them of why I like this one and not this one, and not really. I had never rode when I picked out my first bike. It felt kind of stupid, to be honest, because you're picking out a bike that you have no experience on.
And we talked about, and if you remember our last episode that we talked about bike selection for new riders.
And it felt really weird trying to sit on something and guess, hey, is this the bike that's going to be the bike for me? I mean, luckily I did have my husband there, and most every dealership or most people are going to tell you, especially a girl, start out on a Sportster. And he told me, absolutely not. You're not going to do that because you're going to outgrow it in 3 months and will be upside down on a bike that you've grown out of. So he wouldn't let me do it.
Right. And that was probably a really good, that was probably a good decision.
And then, of course, he was getting his engine built. And so, of course, I had to have my engine built too. I mean, how am I going to keep up with him with a slow bike?
We're going to go back to what we said about riding within your limits.
And
there are some people that become an exception to that rule.
Jason here has been my friend for a long time. So he's like, Crystal, you're going to kill yourself. Crystal,
I did say that.
Crystal, you're going to kill yourself. I mean, he was worried to death about me. And I mean, on day 2, I did put it in the ditch.
Well, but you were learning.
I mean, everybody's got to start
it
somewhere.
out of the way early. I mean, you got to give yourself that. So, okay. So but prior to this, like I said, and we spoke on this just a little bit ago, that prior to this, like you had never had any experience. Like I took you for a ride on my bike before we went to Sturgis just to get you some comfortability about riding a bike,
Right. I really had not rode on a bike. Jason took me for a little spin. I contacted another friend that took me for a ride. Yeah, you're a friend at that point in time.
Just a friend.
I messaged this guy on Facebook. I knew he had a bike and was like, hey, you want to take me for a ride? And he said no. And I said, all right. He came and picked me up. So I went to Sturgis for 2 weeks, had a blast, had an absolute blast. I'd never dated anybody that rode, so I was always the tag along. So we came back. Of course, I fell in love with it, and I rode around with my future husband. And I probably would have been fine with that. But we went off traveling.
Yeah.
And my son travels with us. And if I wanted to go to all these beautiful places on a bike, I had to learn, because 3 of us do not fit on a bike. So
That's true.
I had to learn. And so my son had to go with us. I mean, I'm not going to leave him alone. I mean, at first, I'm not going to lie, I was petrified. I thought, after I dumped the bike, I was like, well, maybe I'll just make it to bike night.
Right.
Right.
Maybe
One night a week. Let's just start out there and see where you end up.
Yeah, like maybe that's where I'll end up. Bike night. So we had a lot of trouble with me learning to ride at first, because his bike wasn't done. He's following me in the truck, so it was hard for him to give me instructions.
Right.
Like, we'd have to stop and give instructions of me trying to learn, which made it very difficult
Right.
for those first 200-300 miles, I'd say.
Excuse me. Sorry, my bad. I got a little choked up on social lubricants here.
So we were moving across country.
Right.
So we stopped in Texas to see some friends. Everybody's going for a ride. Maybe got a couple 100 miles under my belt. That was also my first group ride.
Oh, how many people were in the group? Just out of curiosity's sake.
Yeah, maybe about 10.
Right, small group.
I'd never rode on the interstate. Done my first interstate miles. I did actually, of course, I was scared.
Right.
I was a new rider. I had really no clue what I was doing.
Right.
And of course, I wanted to be in the back of the pack.
Right.
We quickly learned that did not work. They're all hauling ass and doing fine, and
Right.
I'm got stopped at the stoplight. Of course, I'm far back from the pack
Right.
because I'm afraid to ride.
And now you're struggling to catch up.
Yeah.
Going back to what we did speak about that earlier about putting newer people up in the front.
And we learned really quickly that that was not working well.
Right.
And now that I've watched other people that I know
Sure.
that are not as experienced riders, I see it in other people,
Right.
And so what they did for me is they put me in the front of the pack with the leader.
Yeah.
And I rode off of him.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have to worry about stoplights, trying to get through the stoplight. And then everybody rode off of me.
Okay.
And it significantly helped me that day.
Now, with anything, we would say that, as well as I do, the more you do anything, the more comfortable you get. And you guys both, from your start of a riding career, you put a massive amount of mileage in.
Yeah.
Probably way more than what most normal novice riders will do. Let's see here. From the time of getting a bike, was it about 3 months when you rode Pikes Peak?
Yeah. Well, that was my first interstate ride.
Yeah.
Then I did my first mountains like 2 days later in New Mexico.
Right.
So my first beginning miles, I never rode the same road twice.
Right.
So everything was a new road, a new experience. So we did our first curves. I rode back and forth to work about 15 minutes for about a month. I think I rode back and forth just in town.
Yeah.
Practicing, making sure I rode to work every day.
Sure.
And then I was like, all right, let's go to the Grand Canyon.
So why not? Because that's what you do. It's like, well, had enough practice. Let's just get out there and do it.
So I maybe had 300-400 miles under my belt at that point. It was minimal. It was minimal. And
at this point, the bike still had break-in oil in it. You know what I mean?
it was, and I was a really green rider. And
yeah, but you had the opportunity to sit in
and
where you were,
and I wasn't going to miss it. It was only 6 hours to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, you had to do that.
I had to do it, and of course, I planned a trip. I couldn't just go to the Grand Canyon on the interstate and come back. We planned a trip into Page, Arizona. We hit Utah, around to Vegas, and then back on the lower half of the Grand Canyon. But my husband was like, are you sure you're ready for this? And I'm like, well, if I get to the other side, I have to get back.
That's a good way to look at it.
I experienced a lot of anxiety on that trip. I white knuckled the first day.
Right.
I mean, white knuckled that whole ride, scared to death.
So tense when you get off the bike, your body's sore just because your muscles have been tensed up.
Yeah, afraid to let go of the handlebars,
Sure.
squeezing those bars so tight.
Right.
Because it takes a person a while to learn how to relax your arms when you're riding.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody kept telling me, relax your arms, relax your hands. And it took me a long time to figure that out.
You know, I think, and it's interesting that you bring that up because I really feel, and, you know, you guys out there, I mean, post your comments if you feel the same way about it. Of all the machines out there in the world that are operated by humans, cars, boats, airplanes, whatever, however you want to do it, I don't think, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that there's more of a meld between man and machine than a person on a motorcycle. Like, to be comfortable, you really do. You become one with that bike. You feel that bike.
It takes, I mean, like I'm riding my new bike and yeah, it's still becoming my bike. I'm still learning it as my bike. But learning on my first bike versus this one, I mean, my first one, I was petrified.
Sure.
I mean, and
who wouldn't be?
I mean,
I know I was the first time I was like, oh God, I'm going to do this. All right, well, here we go.
I mean, and there's a lot of mistakes, and I look back in the videos and I see new rider mistakes. But I'm also proud of those mistakes. I'm not ashamed of them because we have to go through those to get to where we're going.
Sure. Learning to ride a motorcycle, riding a motorcycle is a journey to a journey. It really is. You know, so in depth of that, you know, at what point, you know, it's like you have to ask yourself deep down, it's like, what was that point you said, this is my life. This is what I love to do.
Well, so we had went through Zion, and I was came out first I was good until we went through the tunnel that had no lights, and I had a tinted visor, and I couldn't see anything but the yellow line, and there was curves in this tunnel, which I'm not good at curves at this point. I'm just trying to, you know, keep it on the road, not kill myself.
Right.
That's the goal.
Right.
And cars are coming at me, and I can't see shit, and it's just all going sideways. I need to put my visor up, but I can't. I'm scared.
Scared to take your hand off the wheel.
I'm still at the point where I'm scared to take my hands off the bars. And then we come out to this, what would be a beautiful scenery, and all I see is cliffs and this like little 1 foot guardrail. And I'm like, if I mess up, I'm dead. Because it's like,
that was just a reminder.
Because it's like 3 miles to the bottom of this canyon. And if I mess up, like that's it, I'm dead.
Right.
And so I was really getting the target fixation. I forgot how to lean. I mean, like the anxiety just, I mean, it was overwhelming.
I'll stop you real quick because you used a term there, and maybe some people have heard it, target fixation. It's when you get zoned in on that one. It's when you get zoned in basically on the obstacle that you're trying to avoid while you're riding a motorcycle. In riding a motorcycle, you should always be looking where you want to go, not really so much at what you're trying to avoid. If you look at it long enough, while you try to avoid it, you'll practically steer yourself right into it.
Yes.
That's what target fixation is.
And I was experiencing that really, really bad. And I mean, I didn't wreck, and we weren't going fast, but I was still
terrified.
And then we got into Vegas traffic, and I'm a new rider. There's 3 of us in a group. They've got me in the middle. I'm spacing back too far. And of course, my husband's worried about cars coming in because the space is too far, cars coming in and us getting separated. And, he's worried about me. So he's yelling at me in the comms and telling me to.
You guys were using helmet comms at that point.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, I'm doing the best I can here. You're going too fast for what I'm feeling comfortable with.
Right.
And had a complete, utter meltdown in the parking lot. I mean, hyperventilating, full-blown panic attack. But after I felt like I got through that and through those fears.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, it's like it did the reset button.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I can do this.
Right.
Like,
would you think that would be like it once you kind of got past that point and really started to settle in? Because
I still had a lot of learning to do.
Right. But once you settle into that, then you really get to start taking in what's around you. Right.
But it
takes time.
It still took a while.
Sure.
But I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? Okay, I got through that horrible part.
Right.
Now let's actually learn.
Right.
Now
start improving technique.
Yes.
You get the basics down. You start improving the technique that you build on around.
Right.
Those.
Right. So I learned a lot about myself that trip.
Right.
And it gave me, getting through that gave me the empowerment to know that I can do this.
That's really great. That's a good thing.
And then, we completed that trip and I was really proud of myself.
Right.
I was super proud of myself.
What do you think? So post, like I said, you guys have such a photo album book worth of travel experiences and great pictures. And I'm sure we'll throw some of those in here so you guys can see too, these wonderful places that, you guys have rode places that most people you guys have rode to everybody's bucket list like a dozen times over, it seems. So what do you think, once you kind of got you started getting your feet underneath it and you started really feeling good about it, you know what I mean? At what point did you said, yeah, you know what? Today, let's do Pikes Peak.
Well, we had rode the $1 Million Highway.
Where's that at? That's in
Colorado. And I had rode it with my husband on the back. And I was like, we're out here. Anyways, he's trying to give me notes. I don't care what he's got to say. Anyways, so I was like, we're out here and I want to go ride the $1 Million Highway. He's like, we just got back from a 10,000 mile trip. He's like, I don't want to go ride. And I'm like, we're going. You've done it. It's my turn to go do this ride. And so I think that was the trip where we went to Pikes Peak. And what was funny about it is you guys on the way to Sturgis had talked about doing Pikes Peak.
Yeah, I wanted to leave Sturgis and try to catch it on the go down that way and come back.
And I had remembered them talking about it and how there was no guardrails and how high it was. And I can remember sitting in the back of the truck and being like, y'all can go to the top. I'm not going to the top. And I was like, I'll just sit down at the bottom and wait for you.
Yeah.
So when we decided to go, it was literally a year after Sturgis. And I was like, I'm riding to the top of Pikes Peak.
Right.
Where last year I wasn't even going to ride on the back.
And just about didn't even want to drive a vehicle up there.
Yeah. And I was like, and now I'm riding it myself.
Right. If ever there was a benchmark, I think if ever there was a benchmark for a new rider, I think you've set the bar high, to say the least. It's impressive because I'll be honest with you, it's like you at this point you put in more mileage in a very 2 years, 3 years almost now.
3 years, and gosh, the first 2 years I did probably 45,000 miles.
Right. That's
somewhere in there.
Right.
I've done city riding, weaving traffic in Orlando to Pikes Peak and doing country rides.
Right.
Through windy roads. So I've done everything, because even city riding's a different style.
Sure. Oh yeah. Wholly different.
I mean,
Big city riding.
Riding.
We're not talking Charleston.
Yeah, we're not talking
We're
Charleston,
talking
West
rural
Virginia.
cities.
We're talking, in Miami. I rode through Miami.
Right.
I mean, because I went to the Keys, so you gotta do 6 lanes of traffic in Miami
Yeah.
to get to the Keys.
So when you put it all together at this point, you look back on all these experiences, you know, and you say to yourself, you know, obviously you're going to say to yourself, God, I'm really thankful that I've had this opportunity to be able to do this.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, because it's impressive. Your riding career at this point in time is absolutely impressive, to say the least.
Well,
both of you all.
I mean, I started out doing it so that we could all go.
Right.
And we could all experience it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been times I've had to go back and ride on the back of the bike now. You know, bikes are broke down, or, you know, whatever the reason is, and
Right.
I've got to ride on the back. But now riding it myself, when I ride on the back of the bike, I don't feel like I accomplished that road.
Right.
And so as a rider now, I'm like, well, I want to ride my own, because then I did it.
Right.
I can check it off the box.
In our last episode, I did a segment here on new bike selection. You know what I mean? For new riders, and one of a lot of my good friends that are lady riders out there commented, said, "Hey, ladies, ride your own." You know what I mean? And hey, you know, it's I said.
I tell a lot of girls ask me, they're like, "Well, you know, what about?" I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. I am clumsy.
And it doesn't matter what your size or shape is. You can fit a bike to anybody.
Yes.
Short, tall, whatever. We can fit it.
And I mean, that's like,
upcoming.
That's like
we'll show you that
when
too.
we went to go ride the bike, pick out a bike. Well, a lot of them didn't fit me.
Right.
Well, any bike can fit you. It just costs money. I mean, it's
that's on it. There's a T-shirt somewhere that has that on it, I'm sure. If not, we will. And if not, you know what? Let's make one. That's a good one.
Any bike will fit you.
Write that down on a little notepad over there.
Just make it rain,
Right.
and it'll
Just
fit
make
you.
it rain.
It'll fit you.
Yeah.
And that's a whole experience too. Just figuring out what you like, and
Yeah.
sometimes it costs money to find out what you don't like.
that's boy, I tell you what, that's 100% truth. That is 100% the truth right there. I have a whole stack of helmets helmets alone that just say that over there.
That you figure out no, I thought I'd like that, but no, it's not for
just,
me.
You know, yeah. I completely understand that.
But now it's about the accomplishment. And I am proud of myself. I'm super proud of myself for learning to ride. Around here, one of the big rides to us is Tail of the Dragon. I haven't done it yet.
I haven't rode that one.
But we live in West Virginia. Every road's a curvy road.
It's
So
true.
I feel like I ride the Tail of the Dragon all the time. Am I going to go do it? You just kind of have to check it off the box. Do I think I'm going to be super impressed? No, but it's still got to come off the list.
So let me give you one last thing here. So do you think at this point, let's look forward. Do you think 10 years down the road, you think you're still going to be doing this in 10 years?
I would love to be. I have a bucket list of rides now that I have put on there. Like, where we do long distance.
Right.
I've got a whole ride up towards Maine I want to do. And my big bucket list ride that I want to do is I want to do the Alaskan Highway.
Oh, that'd be great. That's an amazing ride. That's some iron ass stuff right there.
So that is on my list. If anybody would like to make donations to the Alaskan ride,
Like, subscribe, and share.
because that's going to be costly. But you just take time, save for it, and
That's what all of
eventually
us
you
do.
take it off the list.
As much as everybody thinks we're just these super big, huge stars, we all actually work real jobs and have lots of bills. So, like, subscribe, and share. Please give till it hurts. Only you can help us.
The infomercial.
The infomercial, throw it together. Well, Crystal, we really, really appreciate your time, and it's been great talking to you with this stuff today. And we look forward to doing this again. I'm sure we're going to have plenty more conversations.
Oh yeah,
coming forward in this.
I have a whole lot of input about.
And we're going to have some good info. Like we talked about fitting a bike to you, so we're going to have a lot of good stuff to come out of that with your your new
because
bike.
Just a heads up, when we bought my bike, my feet didn't even touch the ground; they dangled. So, what would make you think? Why would I want to buy a bike that I can't even touch the ground on? That seems kind of silly, but there's solutions.
We found the solutions.
Well, that was a great interview, man.
I agree. It's always good to get the behind the scenes stories, man. That's what I said with this segment. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to cover the real in-depth reason of why people get into this sport, whatever that is, whatever that foundation was that got them there. And that's in the Real Riders, Real Stories segment. I feel like that's what we're going for. And that was excellent, man. You guys have had such an amazing riding career thus far. You guys have checked the bucket list of 95% of people out there. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Well,
really.
she left one key milestone that a lot of people don't know about us. She left one off.
What's that?
We are Guinness World Record holders.
Really?
Yep.
What are your record holders in?
The world's longest poker run.
Oh, that's right.
3,400-mile long poker run.
Wow.
People talk about doing a 100-mile poker run. 3,400.
That's a haul.
Yeah,
that's a haul. That's impressive.
A lot of people don't know that we're Guinness World Record.
And you're actually in the book.
We're actually in the book. Like,
yeah.
You go online, Guinness World Records, put the poker run in there. World's longest poker run game. I believe exactly if you put it in there, and you'll see us listed as a world record holder.
That's really cool, man.
Yep. So
that's awesome.
So congratulate her. That's what I'm saying. She left.
Total congratulations, completely.
Yeah. She left one off that.
I can't imagine her forgetting something.
Oh no, she'll never forget anything. No, it's just one of those things. I know why she don't do it. It's because at that time she wasn't the actual driver; she was the rider because she was still young in her learning how to ride.
Right, young in her riding career.
Yes, young in her riding career.
Right.
But I mean. Whether you're on the front seat or the back seat,
you're still there doing it.
You're still there doing it.
And in my opinion, that still counts.
Yes,
totally. It's an impressive record to hold. That's a lot of miles.
That is a lot of miles.
In one shot, that's a hell of a run, to say the least.
Yep. So, well, we're coming towards the end of this episode. It's been a wonderful time.
Oh yeah.
Like before we get into what I want to bring up. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching. We've been enjoying doing this. Keep sending their suggestions in because it's been fun. We've had some people send suggestions in and cover them.
Been getting a lot of great feedback and stuff from people. Keep in mind we're not professionals by any means at doing this. We're just two guys.
Two old guys in the garage.
2 old guys in the garage.
Yeah.
So it's an a learning experience, to say the least. That's for sure.
Now we can't end this episode without a conspiracy because I've had several people love the conspiracy theory at the end of the episodes.
Oh, I'm glad you guys like it. That's I think I got a pretty good one for this evening.
Okay, what's your conspiracy for this evening?
Okay, so here's what I've got.
All
right. Let's talk about light bulbs. That's right, light bulbs.
Well, you got a bright idea?
I have a very bright idea. On this hand, if you think back to when we were all younger, way back in the day when the world wasn't so... I can't say that word.
I'm going to have to bleep that out.
You're going to have to bleep that out.
When the world is all beep.
Let's try that one again. On this hand, we have the regular old light bulb. They came about back when people weren't so crazy in the world and things were normal.
Yeah.
The regular old incandescent light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
Incandescent as in it just has 2 wires and a little filament. You put some electric in there, it got bright. Light bulbs were great. If you got cold, you could hold your hands around them back then.
Yeah.
Keep your hands warm. Okay. So fast forward now today. Today we have the new LED light bulb. So why did those come about? Why? Because of energy efficiency. It's all about energy efficiency these days, right?
Right.
Okay. Light bulbs, in short, back then, light bulbs were measured in wattage. From a consumer level, they're measured in wattage, as in the higher the watt, the higher the light out, the energy usage, and the higher the light output. So a 60-watt bulb back then is probably the equivalency of a 5-watt LED now.
Right.
Okay. So if you think about it from that perspective, that means that, let's say, your given house, we're not counting refrigerators and stuff like that. We're just talking about light bulbs alone. In light bulbs alone, if a house was built in 1980, doesn't have any more lights in it, and the only thing you ever run with your lights, that means that if the whole house was old style incandescent bulbs, you should have X amount of dollars of energy usage in today's terms. And if you switched every one of those light bulbs out to an LED, that means what? You should have less energy usage, which means your power bill should go down, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I really don't think it does. I think that the whole invention, as it would be, the invention of the LED light bulb wasn't to benefit us. I think it was to benefit the power company, so they could charge more and produce less power per household.
It's not produce less power, it's they can put more customers on the same utility.
That's true too.
So that they can
More customers with the same amount of power production.
right.
And still charge you more for it.
Exactly.
So think about that next time you go out and buy that bulb. You think you're buying it because you're helping the environment? Nah, you're not helping nobody. You're helping them. Really process that one when you think about it. That one's going to really, that's really going to fry your noodle when you start to really dig into that.
You're like, holy crap.
Yeah, I know, right?
And they're always wanting more money.
Yeah, my power bills never went down, you know?
No, it's always went up.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out,
Oh my gosh.
you know?
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Well, you know, just try to get people's minds working, thinking the other side of it there.
I don't know if you're going to get people's minds working. You're going to get them worked up.
Well, you know, controversy's power.
They're going to be driving down the road yelling out the window now.
Everybody's going to go home and turn all their lights off. We're going to go back to burning candles.
Yeah.
I'll show them. It's been a great episode. It really has been.
Yep. So with that, we're going to tell you guys good night. And what do you got to say?
As always, like, subscribe, and share if you like to see more of it. And we love to put this show on for you, as always. So, you know, please hit that like button and enjoy.
Yep. We'll see you guys later.
Out.
Yeah, it's a circus out here. We're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that it's the truth. Get your popcorn